and go.
Hey everyone, Justin Scott, Lowell Ledger here with Lowell Wrestling head coach RJ Boudro. After was a really exciting day Wednesday. When you say RJ?
Yeah, it was one to remember for sure. I don't know that I've ever really been a part of any kind of wrestling match like that. It was obviously it's the start of a season, so it's not the end where you have the hype of maybe like a state championship match, but just the electricity, the feeling of competition in the air, and just the support that we received from our student body and our staff here at Lowell High School was pretty incredible.
Yeah, so tell me about that assembly duel. What work went into it, and who are kind of the key people behind organizing it?
Oh well, our coaching staff puts a ton of work into it. Matt Dode stands out though. Him and I work together quite a bit, just trying to, you know, do the finer little details and prep the team that was coming here for what they were going to kind of experience. But we had a meeting with our principal, Mr. Goff, and our athletic director, Mrs. Crowley, and just planned this out a few months ago. And just getting a DJ there, having Jules Crawford, who runs our Performing Arts Center. She got some spotlights there. So just trying to make an atmosphere, an environment that was going to be really tough to wrestle in, because that's what we want. We want to kind of put ourselves in tough situations. And then, talking to the official, letting him know it's a different type of a match. We had some music going on during matches and things that aren't really typical. And then preparing the team that was coming, making sure they're okay with all that stuff. But they were, Brighton was a gracious guest. So it was really good. A lot of prep that went into it though. Our kids, our staff, our students, the teachers that allowed us to set up early, and just the custodial staff. It was really a team effort here at Lowell High School. And then I think the finishing touch was like just our community and the students. We had youth wrestlers sitting mat side, like right next to the mat. We had our students were super into it. They kind of, I've never seen a student body rush a mat, kind of like rushing the field. So that was kind of cool. And yeah, it's just an all around great experience. Our kids had a blast. And it was one to remember for sure.
Yeah, I've been to assembly duels in the past, and this one was certainly a notch above. What did you learn from past assembly duels to improve this one?
I think just like notifying all the different people and getting all the things done kind of ahead of time when you can, and trying to be as prepared as you possibly can. But you do a lot of preparing. I kind of compare it to like eating dinner. Sometimes you'll prepare a meal for like 4 hours and then it takes 15 minutes to eat. We've been preparing this thing for months, and then all of a sudden it happens, and in about an hour and 15 minutes it was over. And everything that we wanted to happen happened. So I kind of just listed off all the stuff that went into it. Those are really the things that we've learned over the past, because we've made some mistakes. We've done it in our Performing Arts Center, which was awesome the last few times, but you can't get the whole school there. So we were able to get every student in the school in that one gym with teachers, and give them a look at the hard work that we put in. And sometimes people don't know a lot about wrestling, so they probably learned some things when they were in there on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the team this year. Who are some new faces we're going to be seeing in the starting lineup?
Our starting lineup that's a trick question, because it's always it's a moving part. We have two varsity lineups. So last Wednesday, right after Brighton, we had our A team, and then our B team wrestled, and our B team took out a ranked opponent. So we beat Art, who's ranked in the state. So those guys that are on that B team are varsity athletes that are competing at a high level. But as far as our A team goes, I think that's what a lot of people want to hear about. We have a freshman in the lineup at 106 with Braddock King. So we have two guys ranked in the top 10 at 106. And Braddock King's really never been in our lineup. So he's a kid that works really, really hard. So having a guy like Jarrett Smith, who's one of the top ranked kids in the country, to train with, they're both just going to get better. So that's exciting down low. Carter Chahaki, who's a sophomore, holds it down with Landon Musgrave at 113. But there's guys that are going to be pushing those guys, like Mason Saylor and some new names. Our freshman class is good. Logan Dawson will be on the B team. But we have two guys, Maddox Simcoe and CJ Poole, who are seniors, but they're new to our team. So Maddox Simcoe had a huge win over the number 2 ranked guy in Division One. Got a pin in the assembly duel, so that's a new face people aren't going to be really familiar with. Casey Engel at 175, he's a sophomore, hasn't been in the starting lineup. And then some of the guys that all deserve credit too is just our returning state champs, Owen Sikorsky and Jackson Bloom, and Jared Boone, his younger brother, Trevor Boone, is a freshman that's in the lineup too. So it's really nice to have a freshman that's going to be able to compete on our A team. He's going to get some really good experience, over these next few years, especially this year, kind of getting him ready for that. And then, our senior class in leadership is there too, with guys like Landon Miller and Carson Crace. Tacho Gonzalez is back in. He's been in our starting lineup since he's been a freshman. I don't have the list in front of me. This is all kind of off the top of my head. And then Juan Acosta is a sophomore, a new face to the lineup. He at heavyweight, he had a big win for us at heavyweight. And Ari McFarland is a junior, new to the lineup. So we have a lot of new and a lot of old, and I think it's pretty typical for our lineup. We're going to turn over stuff every single year. We're losing state champions. We lost the state champ from last year, but it's just there's guys that were back waiting in the wings and ready to step forward. And I think they did pretty well to start out on Wednesday, but it's a long season. So I know people are really excited about our team because they got to see us be pretty dominant on Wednesday, but that's just one match. And we have a big test coming up tomorrow. So for two varsity lineups.
Yeah, those guys you mentioned there at the end really ended the assembly duel with a bang, 2 pins. So when it comes to returning starters, who do you think has progressed the most this offseason?
Returning starters, as far as progression goes, it's so hard to say because our guys are working so hard. I'm excited to see a lot of those guys compete, and I think it's hard for me to answer that question because we really need to see some good competition, which we're going to. So tomorrow it starts, with that Davison. So we're going to see, 28 to 32. I think 32 guys compete at a varsity tournament tomorrow. That's a lot of kids competing for us at a varsity tournament. So we're going to get to see some of that progression take place. Brighton, we had 12 pins. So it's hard for me to just go off of that. You need to see a few matches for me to be able to answer that question. But I'm excited about a lot of guys. I really am kind of torn because I really want to go to both matches. One's in Allegan and one's in Davison, so it's not possible. But we have our coaching staff is awesome, so they're going to be all over the state. We're sending in 20 guys to Delton Kellogg as well tonight. So it's a busy week, with 5 events in 1 week. It's a lot of stress on our coaching staff. But man, it's worth it.
Putting the miles for sure. So in regards to the assembly match, you guys went out and dominated a good Brighton team. Like, they're ranked in Division One. What does that tell you about the team just kind of early on?
Yeah, I mean, I almost don't like it as much, yeah, we want to be dominant, but it's just, we got so much work to do. So I'm just excited for next week, but we're talented and we have a very good team top to bottom. It was just good to see guys smile and have fun and do those things. I could tell that we like to have fun. I think our crowd fed off of our bench. So, once our guys were done wrestling and they knew they could cheer their teammates on and they did their job, man, they got the crowd into it. And, I think having a big team, we have 60 kids on this year's team, which is a ton. Those kids that weren't on the bench were in the crowd, and it turned our crowd into an educated crowd. And those guys were kind of, leading the charge. So I think we're gonna have a lot of energy this year, a lot of youth, a lot of iron sharpening iron, just guys in the room battling and trying to help each other. So it's really always the goal. And I think we were able to see some hard work. 2.5 weeks of wrestling practice is not necessarily fun. So it is fun, but it's like after the first week it gets kind of old, because you need somebody to compete against. I don't know if you saw pictures from our inner squad. That was a really good event. We broke our team up into 4 teams, and to have 4 full teams on one Lowell team was a really cool experience. And we had a great crowd. I want to say like 750 to 1,000 people were there. So it was a really cool night. for that. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about a lot of things. But I think most importantly, we're excited about competing tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, the inner squad was such a great event, and the gym at Cherry Creek looks like it was newly refurbished, so it was actually really nice in there.
Yeah, it was.
Um, last question I got for you, as I know we're running low on time. What was the biggest moment of the that assembly duel? Because I know there were a lot that kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one. Oh, that's a tough question. You know, I think I think Juan Acosta at the end, getting a pin. Just a kid that's works hard, is a great kid, and just kind of a great moment at the end where everybody kind of came on the mat, and it was fun just seeing the teammates and um, how proud his teammates were of him, for that moment, because it's hard to go out there, in front of your whole student body and all 14 guys that did that. It was tough,
Hmm.
but then I think also too, Maddox Simcoe pinning Travis Richardson that's a big moment. That's, you pin the number 2 guy in the state in front of the whole student body. It was cool for guys to see. So yeah, I think the whole thing was awesome. So it's hard to pick one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, RJ. Good luck to you guys this weekend and the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Justin, and look forward to that next
All
time.
right. Yeah.
All right.